Yo, and welcome along to the Chap 2018 UK trip. Now I understand this is 5 months late, but you know, we got there in the end. Now before I go ahead and begin this vlog, we need a little bit of backstory and context. So here's the Chap Offbeat story in 60 seconds. Now, in February 2016, one of my songs, Chappy's Tune, gets featured on the Unknown Electro Swing Collection mixtape up on Leah Brown's channel, and Offbeat just happened to be in the same playlist. So I check out the rest of his music, think, oh yo, this is pretty cool, this is really unique, out of this world. And then he posts a video where he talks about collaborations, and then me being me posted in the comment section, cough cough, collaborations, here when you need me, cough cough. He checks out my music, thinks it's really cool, next thing you know, we're making tunes together. So we made tunes like Weekend Living, Loved Up, Anxious People, and P&P. And after these tunes were made, Offbeat pitches his album idea to me. I'm like, of course I'd be down for it. Well then the next thing you know, he's starting an Indiegogo campaign, absolutely destroys his goal, and then he's heading over to New Zealand to work on this album with me. So we spend 9 to 10 days working on album material, and when I'm dropping him back to the airport, he mentions Boomtown Festival. And Boomtown Festival is the place where all the swing hoppers met for the very first time, and he said if he could get a slot there, that I had to come over to the UK the next year. And so in April 2018, I get the message that they've got 2 slots in Boomtown Festival, so I booked my tickets obviously. August rolls around, and after 33 hours of being in airports and on airplanes, I eventually get to the other side of the world in the UK. So the plan was I left on the Friday the 3rd, then we'd have 4 days to completely wrap up this album, and then send it out to the Indiegogo supporters. Thursday to Monday will be Boomtown Fair. The following Friday we go to London since Offbeat lives in Bristol. The following weekend we spend in Paris, and then I head home on the 28th. I finally make it to Bristol and meet up with Offbeat, and then we go for a little bit of sightseeing, have a pint. I did vlog as you can see here, but I was just so tired it didn't really make sense at all. After 42 hours of being awake, jet lag finally caught up to me, and then I fell asleep at 2 PM, woke up at 1, nice! Went back to sleep, woke up at 8, and then the following day did a bit of sightseeing, touristy stuff around Bristol. Bristol was very cool. It's got a lot of music and art, culture and history behind it. Just overall the town was very different to what I'm used to back home. And after a couple of days of sightseeing, it was time for an Offbeat Chap live stream. So I sent to Asda to get the beverages, and I picked out some of my highlights from the live stream.
Fair play to him, to his credit, got on it, had a pint with lunch.
We had to.
Yeah. And then promptly passed out for like about 20 hours. So in honour of Chap's presence, because obviously he wasn't available to do it, I went out and got battered on my own. And then hopefully I'll get really famous and I can start working with some decent producers.
Oh.
How would you describe the production on the album compared to your normal music?
Time consuming.
For a dick.
So with Boomtown closing in, we spend the next few days working and finalising this album, which we spent the last 1.5 years working on, and obviously preparing ourselves for the festival. Thursday evening we arrive at the festival, and here's me not happy with the tent. And the Friday we have off, we spend walking around the festival, partying, familiarising ourselves with the different stages, just getting to know Boomtown. I mean, it's an 80,000 person festival. It takes 20 minutes to walk from one side to the other. There was so much walking over those 5 days. My goodness. Bad man things. So on the Saturday and Sunday we had 2 shows lined up. I never performed with the guys before, but obviously it went well. I literally just had to press play on my DJ thing and cue up the next song. Now you'd think that was a stress-free environment, but both times the DJ software had like a little malfunction or lag going on, and I was worried the audio was going to completely cut out on the instrumentals. But it didn't, and we absolutely smashed it. I had a whale of a time. Big thanks to the guys for having me up on stage. It was just an awesome experience. And now back to the partying. Yeah, just 80,000 people and rain and, you know, being in a field and all. It just didn't make a good combo for the grounds, but the music made up for it. Boomtown was finished and we were able to rest for a few days, so we did another live stream, this time on my channel for the first time ever, which went really well. And then the next few days we spent chilling and finalizing the album, making sure it was live for everybody this time. Since the Indiegogo supporters got it a week early, we released the album and then promptly Ubered to our bus because we were late for a London weekend trip. London was really cool. It was just a massive, massive city with loads of people inside it. Great history, great tourist attractions. But then, of course, Big Ben just had to be under construction while I was there. Nice one, Big Ben. Couldn't have waited for a few years. Come on, mate. We spent the weekend sightseeing, doing touristy stuff, catching up with Ollie's friends, and just eating. A lot. You see this thing? Like, oh my, I was so full after. Oh my god. One of the evenings we spent at the Camden markets, but we kind of got there a little bit too late. Everything was kind of shut. But one of the shops we went into was like this retro, like hard style place. Honestly thought the DJ was having like a nap or something, and then he rose up and gave me the fright of my life. Oh my god. And then on the last day we went to the Natural History Museum. Loads of people, loads of exhibitions. We couldn't get around it all in time. Like, you'd need a whole day or like a couple of days to get around it. And then I took some of the worst photos ever. Like, honestly, what is that? Back to Bristol for the next few days, and one of the nights we went to a restaurant called Zaza Bazaar, which is just an all-you-can-eat place. Oh yeah, it was good, needless to say.
But what I saw left me floored, cause it was worse than I thought. From Shoreditch to New York and Portland, it was spreading to Kreuzberg in Europe. This was an epidemic.
One of the missions while being in the UK was I had to be a part of at least one of the music videos there. So I managed to get myself a cameo in The Hipsters Are Coming as an avocado hipster dude, and I definitely landed myself the best role in this music video where I had to spit avocado out of Offbeat's face. Glorious times. Oh well, your boy's in the music video, guys.
An absolute steal at just £5 a loaf. I tried to warn my friends, but they just said to me, I think it's good that we're joining the 21st century. As they tucked into the smashed avocado, they were scoffing. I was like, damn man, they've already got them. I started to...
After a busy day of shooting part 1 of the Hipsters Are Coming music video, we caught up with the rest of the Swing Hoppers to work on a new tune for their EP. And of course, while we're there, we had to do a live stream. Here's some funnies.
Offbeat, we've got Charlene Array. And all the way from Australia. But we had probably my favourite audience participant today.
The one on the bike?
Yeah, it was this like 10-year-old kid who just turned up on a bike with a cigarette in his hand as well. He was like, "Yeah, what are you lot filming?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just doing a music video." "Yeah? Is it going to be on YouTube?" Yeah, it is, mate. "How many subscribers you got?" And I was like, "Is that how many views you got? What's your most views?" And I was like, "Don't know," and just said a number, and he was like, "Oh right." And just like cycled off, and we were like, brilliant. Michaela O'Flynn says, do you have any siblings, are young or old?
Take a guess.
So...
The only child.
What could you possibly mean by that?
Going to Perry. The amazing thing about being in Europe is it only takes a few hours to get from like one part of Europe to another. So of course for my last weekend on this holiday, we had to do a little trip to somewhere outside the UK. So we went to Paris and had some good times with the lads. And one of the reasons we decided on Paris for this weekend was because there was a music festival happening there, like we hadn't had enough already, which had the likes of Nerd and Kendrick Lamar playing. And well, this kind of sums it up really. Good times, and back to being a tourist.
So a cheeky little story before I forget to add it in the vlog. Yesterday when we were on the boat cruise, I was being a bit of a dick as per, and like dabbing at people after I waved to them, and this Asian lady on another cruise tour boat, she did a very own dab, and how did it go?
It's something like this.
It was the best thing ever.
And of course, one of the things I had to do at Le Louvre was to take a selfie with the Mona Lisa. Mission accomplished.
That moment when your museum has an Apple store inside. Sick.
With the weekend coming to a close, we caught the Eurostar from Gare du Nord to London, and the transition was just seamless. Nice and sunny in France, and then drizzly and overcast in the UK. Welcome back, guys. With only a few days remaining in my trip, we spent the last couple of days sightseeing in Bristol once again, going over the suspension bridge, and then it was time for our last live stream, Odd Bake.
To Odd Bake, the first and
probably the last.
No. So yeah, I'm going to be making shortbread from half of my home country, Scotland. And
I will be
Odd Chap is going to be making a fucking mess. What else are you going to be making?
I will be making Anzac biscuits.
It's just a little bit of fun, right?
Yeah.
Right, go.
I'm a professional chef. I should be on shows and shit.
Brilliant. Barnes Cooker says, hello! I hope what you are cooking will turn out delicious. Thank you very much. Well,
so do we.
20 minutes later.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo mine. Have you looked in the oven? Oh my god.
It's like dripping. Well, mine are a resounding success, and I'm going to put them in the fridge now. Caroline Neilhart says, it's kind of sad you guys don't get more views on your live streams together. You guys deserve more. I'm not sure we do.
You're quite hot.
Is it?
I'm in the opposition, so I get to taste it up.
This is lovely. Nice and really texture. And they are really nice.
Are they?
Yeah, genuinely, like, they're both really, really good.
Oh, that's sweet. That's something.
Are they,
What's that?
So, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much to Odd Chap for coming to the UK. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here, and we'll be very glad to see you both. Not just myself, but everyone that has met you in the last one.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Peace!
What an absolute mess we made, apart from that bunch, but honestly, that was my first batch of cookies. And then sadly the next day it was time to head back to New Zealand. Well, here we are 5 months later. Obviously I did this right before I left, but once again I want to thank you Offbeat for just being so welcoming and accommodating into your country. You know, traveling to basically the opposite side of the world can be quite a daunting thing, but obviously, needless to say, and as you can probably tell from the vlog, I had one of the best times ever, so I thank you so much for that. It's weird to think that this whole thing started because of like a single comment I left on your YouTube video a while ago, which basically led us to creating this whole album right here. A year and a half in the works, and I'm just amazingly happy with how this whole album turned out, and I'm really proud that I got to fly over to the other side of the world to celebrate its release with you. You know, we spent so much time on this album. It's amazing to see it completed and just, you know, out there in the public. I also want to thank you for letting me play on stage with the Swing Hoppers. You know, it's one thing to kind of create the beats behind all these tracks, hear the vocals being added later in, and then hearing the track in its final form, but it's another thing to share the experience on stage with the people who helped to make the music as well. You know, because I've done like 4 singles with Offbeat and now an album, and soon to be 2 EPs with the Swing Hoppers. It's just, it just adds another dimension playing on stage with the same guys who helped make the music. A big shout out to absolutely everyone I met on the trip. You know, 3.5 weeks, I met so many friendly faces, and I really do hope our paths cross soon. And thank you for not confusing me with being Australian too much.
And all the way from Australia.
Big love to the Swing Hoppers and crew. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again soon, whether you're coming to New Zealand or I'm going back to the UK, or you know, maybe somewhere in between. Maybe a show in between, that would be pretty cool. A big thanks to everybody watching the video vlog. If you haven't already grabbed a copy of this album, link will be in the description of course. Hope you have the best day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.